Have you ever been driving or just walking around and you've seen one of these stickers before? If so, the idea of coexisting is just that each of these religions or different ideas have an ability to have harmony here on Earth. But with such different beliefs, is that actually possible? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside Apologetics. I'm your host, Reggie, and today we're going to be asking the question, can we really coexist with all these different religions? But before we actually get into that, what do each of these letters mean? Let's break that down. The first letter. It is C, and it's representing Islam. And it's a crescent moon with a star, and all it means is divine guidance coming from, or divine wisdom coming from Allah. Something interesting about this is it actually wasn't even adopted and isn't even the official symbol for Islam, but it was adopted by the Ottoman Empire around 1299. The next letter we see is O, and it was made by a British artist who was really against the Cold War and nuclear escalation, and it represents pacifism or peace. Next up, we have the letter E, which has actually two different meanings depending on which version of the sticker you're looking at. You can either have it for a symbolization of Hinduism or science. The E actually represents Om, which is actually the start of their chants or their mantras, and then the E for science represents E equals mc squared. While Hinduism isn't like Gnosticism in the sense that the physical reality is really, really bad and the spiritual reality is really, really good, Hinduism does put a huge emphasis on the spiritual aspect of their religion. Now, next up on the list, we have X, which is represented by the Star of David. That represents the religion, one of the 5 major religions, Judaism. Now, it's important to note that there's actually no correlation to David or even any biblical reference to the Star of David. The Kabbalah is another name for the Star of David, and all it means is a harmony between opposites. And the Kabbalah or the Star of David became kind of the symbol for Judaism around medieval times. Next up, we have the letter I, which again is one of those interchangeable ones depending on which version of the sticker you're looking at. We can either have it representing Wiccan ideas or paganism, and then on the other hand, it can either represent humanism, which is just the idea that humans can be good or a decent person all on their own. Next up, we have the letter S, which is represented by the yin and yang symbol, which is an idea that comes from Taoism that teaches everything in the universe has complementary opposites, like light and dark, good and evil, male and female, action and rest. All of these have an opposite that work in perfect unison together. And the idea is that humans are to find the balance within each of these opposites. The letter T that is represented by a Roman cross, this is what a Greek Roman philosopher had to say about crucifixion. He said, "The very mention of the word cross should be removed not only from a Roman citizen's body, but from his mind, his eyes, his ears. It is a cruel and disgusting penalty." Even to the Romans, this nightmare of an invention to not just kill a human being, but humiliate them was a terrible symbol. But it wasn't until the 4th century that the Roman cross actually became a symbol of hope, of salvation found in Christ. But now that we know what each of these symbols mean, we can ask that question, can we coexist? Well, I'd have to ask you, what do you mean by coexist? If you mean not killing each other, then for the most part, yes. However, the idea of coexisting actually sounds really nice when you don't know what each of these religions believe. If you take the time to study each of these religions and you line them up all across each other and you have to see what they say about other religions, they would say that they're false. The only one that makes room for another religion to possibly be within their theology is Hinduism. And even then, in order for that religion that you're bringing into Hinduism has to be subsumed by Hinduism. Coexisting, if you ask each of these major religions, isn't the goal. Jesus tells us in John 15 that if the world hated him, well, then we should be sure that the world will hate us. Now, my goal is not to be an advocate for a war against all major religions or inciting violence, but the idea of coexisting isn't the goal for each of these. For Islam, it's the 7 pillars. For Christianity, salvation is found in the cross provided by Christ. So as Christians, no, I'm not saying let's go throw hands with anybody or fight somebody because they believe something different than us, like people have in the past hiding behind the name of Christ. What I am saying, the way, the truth, and the life. And the way that we share this is with gentleness and respect. To not share this would be like a musician without a song. The gospel has become who we are, and our actions and our words are our song. God's people in the past have gotten in trouble because of words like coexisting. The idea isn't just so we can be in harmony with each other and everything's good. No, the idea is for us to give up on some of our Christian values and assimilate into the world around us. Coexisting isn't the goal, not for us and not any other of the major religions. Our goal is to live out what we believe, which is Christ. Till next time on Inside Apologetics, I'm your host Reggie Robinson. Make sure to follow and share for more, and I'll see you guys soon.